Many of you are witnessing the numerology signaling the return of our lost ancient civilizations of Lemuria, and Atlantis. We're going to find these activation codes in our master numbers, triple number sequences, and the reoccurrence of the 555. Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah Bachmeyer, the author of Egyptian Numerology, Emergence into the Fifth Dimension, and the sequel, The Path of a Wounded Healer. Liberation is for the asking. And I apologize up front if there's any time lag in the speech and video. I set up a new computer, and for some reason, it is really sensitive to the Wi-Fi network. I'm hoping it will work itself out. Hang in there with me. With that being said, let's review some vital activation numeric codes that have been triggering our DNA to awaken and prepare for the return of our lost and ancient civilizations. Today, I'm speaking about the many signs that you've been receiving, and you're not alone. Some and many will hear this call and resonate with these words. You have been receiving these numeric messages as gifts from the angels. Many have been seeing the master numbers in their field for quite some time, and it's because your biology is now ready to make a shift to the next level. 1111 and triple numbers 11 are the master numbers that reflect the transformation of the physical into the divine. Your higher self or I am presence encoded this sacred geometry into your genetic patterns prior to your incarnation. Your DNA has started to reconnect, and it needs an external signal to do so. For quite some time now, people have been noticing 1111, and you're being purposely contacted from the other side of the veil and nudged at exactly the right time to turn around and look at digital clocks or various digital readouts to see the numbers displaying right in front of you. Those numbers are triggers for your biology to begin the process of advancement into a higher vibrational state by connecting the DNA. These numeric light codes activate your genetic memory toward the transformation that you're going through. The activation code 1111 represents the transformation of the third dimensional plane into the higher fourth dimensional plane of existence. And because of these miraculous changes taking place within every evolving soul on earth, we are ready for the 111111, which is the transformation of the third and fourth dimensional planes merging into the higher fifth dimensional realm. Many of you have noticed that the master number 11 and the number trinities are surfacing more frequently. And this is because energetically you are stepping through gateways and into higher realities. You are clearing the illusions, accepting the truth, and choosing to stand within that truth, no longer willing to accept compromise upon or within your soul journey. You are feeling the inner guidance to complete your life mission, and because of this, you are now perceiving things quite differently. These master numbers are not the only triggers, for there have been many. This is also the deeper meaning of the crop circles. These esoteric symbols are signaling your biology to see and accept them. When you see the anomaly of numbers, it is then that you can look and try to attach a meaning to the numbers. But the meaning is mostly understood by your biology and not so much your mind. And now that you've become comfortable with the master numbers in your field, new triggers are starting to surface. 1111, 1212, 911, 333, 444, and 555. And what is the true meaning of the master numbers that have magically found their way into your reality? The master number 1111 is our first trigger. It is the ascension portal and the master gateway to oneness. It is known as the wake up code, the code of consciousness, code of ascension, and the activation code 1111 is the master digital code frequency that activates certain neural pathways within our being to assist in awakening and the expansion of our consciousness. And it carries strong codes of initiation, psychic ability, spirituality, and enlightenment. The 1111 activation code directly connects us to the 1111 portal to oneness, which is open right now and is the gateway between the third dimension and the fifth dimensional levels of consciousness. 1111 Ascension Portal of 2022 is bringing powerful surges of energy, carrying upgraded crystalline light codes of ascension, triggering new coding and receiving new earth crystalline activations within our DNA, activated by digital code 1111 and unlocking ongoing series of synchronicities. The portal is bringing upgraded divine union light codes and activations for divine union missions, which are extremely important to Earth's continued ascension and moving through the gateway of unity consciousness. All of this is triggering massive light body upgrades, crown and soul star chakra activations, further upgrades to your divine gifts, clearing, solar plexus upgrades, kundalini and astral activations, as well as profound heart brain integration, uniting the second dimension polarities between masculine and feminine within our soul. Because you are now ready to receive these specific signals activating your biology, your own higher self presence is calling in this gift from the angels. Here is the explanation of the progression of the numbers you may be experiencing. The number sequence 911 reminds us of the lack of balance within the world caused by the escalation of our ascending mind over those who have chosen not to become of higher vibration. There exists an in between time when we seek balance and we make choices. Even those who make choices that lead to negative outcomes are participating within this process, as they are doing their part by forcing the balance that must occur within our world. It's important to know and understand that there are no wrong choices because every choice is perfect. The 1111 signals perfection of balance, that which is a full circle of form and formlessness and is the timelessness of all creation. The universal law of balance reminds you to become the balance that you seek. Since all things are ultimately created of energy, as damages are done, those energies by universal law must maintain balance. And when the destruction of the environment and a lack of consciousness of the people upon the planet become far out of balance, those energies will take measures to balance themselves out. We need to work with our planet and give ourselves and the planet the fuel that she needs to sustain herself. It can be done, and many of you are already doing this. By doing this, we return to the light. When the pure of heart meets with the pureness of being in all of its innocence, the existence of harmony is born within all things. 1111 is a signal that there are gateways and stargates which are open to you for the first time since countless millennia ago. These doorways can be accessed from your higher states of consciousness. And now you can travel within the corridors of the infinite and bring back to your third dimensional awareness all that you choose to remember. So let's start with the number one. One is the Om vibration. One is the singular I am vibration. It is the unity consciousness personified. One is the unity consciousness as expressed in the third dimension. It is what in time we will be returning to. The one is where the world began. It is infinite, for it contains all things. It is difficult for us to understand even the simple concepts of infinity because we live in such a finite world. But if anything, we can remember that the number one represents the beginning. Entering a field of polarity is the second dimension. The second dimension is not a final resting place, nor will it ever support your energy fully. However, much like the bridge that is known as the fourth dimension, the second dimension has been a place to travel through, and receive energy imprints. These energy imprints have given us polarity. The contrast of polarity has enabled us to see ourselves. It was this contrast that allows us the illusions to define that which has been previously indefinable. Setting the energy in your biology took signals to your DNA that was enabled by the 1111. This was the signal for your DNA to begin the process of reconnecting. The two sets of two ones signify the first dimension traveling through the second. As we move through the second dimension and take on the attributes of polarity, we split into the two sexes, male and female. In this polarity, we see black and white, up and down, right and wrong, and you see fear and love. And all of these binaries are an illusion of polarity. For there is no black or white, there are only shades of gray. Up and down are only relevant to where you are at the present moment. Right and wrong are products of our judgments, and fear and love are really two sides of the same circle. All is part of the whole, yet since traveling through the second dimension, we see with polarity, which allows the infinite to steady itself as finite. The 1212 is a signal to your biology that signifies the first expression of our third dimension. Emerging from the second dimension are two sets of threes. 333 is the third dimension. We then move into the second part of the third dimension where everything is three. In fact, the threes are not finished playing out yet. Even now, as the fifth dimension is being introduced on the 555 of your digital devices, please notice that there are three fives in place. Our entire existence is explained by dividing by threes. Everything in your field is a multiple of three. The triangular shape of the energy, which defines the third dimension, causes the very base of our three energy. The numbers are coming forward to remind you of this. That of the 333, the triple trinity, which relates the essence of the pyramids, the perfect trilogy, the trinity of being. This reminds you of your aspect within the one, that you are not individualized. Rather, you are an integral part of all that is. It is erroneous to call 666 the sign of the devil. Why would we take the threes, double them, and then call it the devil? You are the threes, for you are a manifestation of source in infinite form. As such, you define what you create, and now your higher self is beginning to show you something new. For as we have played so long in the third dimension is now finally entering the third stage. It's no coincidence that we have a tremendous event right at our doorstep. The third millennium is a magical time. Our choices have made it possible for us to take a step into the unknown. We are the masters walking in a bubble of biology. We are the exalted ones and are beginning to see the magic happen. 2022 is the current year, the 22nd year of the third millennium and the 21st century, and the third year of the 2020s decade. Now we come to 444, which is about mastery and empowerment. The 444 that you see is a representation of the fourth dimension as seen from the perspective of the third dimension. You are moving into the fourth dimension. Your relationship to everything around you is now changing, and the triple numbers 444 is a representative of this movement. It is time to incorporate mastery of self and a time to step into your empowerment. The attributes of the fourth dimension keep you from seeing yourself as empowered. Know that at this point, incorporating empowerment techniques will serve you well. Every time you see the 444, just remember mastery and empowerment. It comes as a reminder of our insistence of being an individual, but at the same time, a reminder that all human aspects within other dimensional realities, when aligned, are a total perfection of existence, moving far beyond this dimension and into the infinite of our being, which is now living in this reality. It is from these aligned aspects that we have the ability to create miracles, instant manifestation, and complete healing of ourselves and others. So now let's tie these numeric anomalies into the return of the magic of Mu, Lemuria, and Atlantis. There is as much debate as there is acknowledgement that these mythical lost continents even existed. Some believe that both Mu and Lemuria are the same, while others consider them to be a separate land. Various evidence was found which shows the presence of this mysterious and lost island in the Indian Ocean. Its civilization flourished 50,000 years ago, and believed that this civilization was more advanced than any other ancient civilization. Mu is an ancient lost continent that existed 12,000 years ago and was believed to be located in the Atlantic Ocean. It is believed that this continent was destroyed or collapsed in a single night by a series of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, destroying all civilization. The continent was believed to have sunken below sea level. Lemuria and Mu had many of the attributes associated with Atlantis. Lemurians developed homes with transparent roofs, lived to be hundreds of years old, and were capable of telepathy, astral travel, and teleportation. A lot of words. It was a magical time that many of you have encoded in your memory of having spent lives on these continents. And it was a time that you were in touch with your power. Does that surprise you? We were all there, and some of us have been there more than once. The days of Mu were a magical time when each of us walked within our power, and this memory is coming forward because it is attainable in our biology. The infrastructures around us are beginning to change. We see it unfolding right as I speak. You are not one and you are not separate from each other. There are many who gave their lives to help illustrate this point. Governments are changing, businesses are changing. It is foretold that if we stay on course and continue to blend the magic with the mundane, that the days of Mu will return. You may have the feeling that Lemuria is not a myth and that you were there. It was a time when you walked fully within your power, and it is happening again as you begin the days leading up to the number 5. You are currently in the number 3 vibration and are currently blending the 3 with the 5. It is a strange event that you would have 3 5s showing up in your field, right? This is because the days of Lemuria are returning and you have helped to create it. But it's so important that we learn from the previous misdirection of energy that there will be much resistance to this as it comes forward with the days of Atlantis burned in our cellular memory at a very deep level. So let us remember Atlantis and exactly what caused the destruction. For there was a misdirection of energy that caused the entire shift that abruptly ended Atlantis. It is human nature to categorize yourself and each other. This tendency to categorize each other leads naturally to placing one category higher than the other, and nothing can be further from the truth. If only we would have adopted the use of discernment rather than judgment, all of this could have been avoided. In Atlantis, we blended the magical and the mundane in the area of technology. And the same technology is currently on our planet right now, as it has been many times before. As you look at your computer and your internet, you see the technology exploding right before your eyes and is a direct reflection of our spiritual advancement. For the collective spiritual vibration of the planet is what supports this technology. It is working and you are creating it. The Atlanteans used great technology in the field of rejuvenation. The people from Lemuria came to the land of Atlantis to blend the technology with spirituality. The number sequence 555 is the beginning of our entrance into the fifth dimension. The prevailing attitude of Atlanteans was that they were superior to the people of Mu. The continent of Mu was sinking, and the Lemurians found themselves traveling to Atlantis to escape. For a time, it worked because the magic was there, and the vibration of the number 5 was present and moving forward. The fifth dimension was being created in the land of Atlantis, and now we find ourselves once again ready to accept the gift of 555. The number 5, and in particular the triple number 5, has been prevalent throughout the globe recently. The 555 had begun. It was during this time that the people of Atlantis chose to see lack and limitation. As the great influx of souls found refuge in Atlantis, it strained their systems because the technology was not yet in place to support the vast number of beings inhabiting their land. Although they had the technology for rejuvenation, it was believed that they did not have enough to go around. And rather than focus on what they did have, they placed their sight or camera on the number 4 perception, which said, "We do not have enough to go around, so we must devise a system to take care of those that we can take care of." It was here that a class system developed in the days of Atlantis. It was here that a subtle expression of slavery came to the greatly advanced planet of free choice. This misdirection of energy has come back to visit us many times. It was here that all the teachings of Mu, all the teachings of empowerment were lost in the blink of an eye. They felt that they had to decide who would use the technology and who would not. There was enough for everyone had they only adopted the realization that everyone was playing an important part. Instead, they chose to see some as more important than others. And here was the misdirection of energy that set into motion the fall of Atlantis. This was a time that we stepped into the fifth dimension. The effects of carrying misdirection into the fifth dimension is unrelenting. It was important for people to cleanse themselves so that they did not walk into the temple of rejuvenation carrying any impurities. And if only we had been able to keep ourselves from walking into the fifth dimension carrying impure beliefs, Atlantis would be well today. We are reaching that stage again, but now we are approaching it quite differently because now we are coming from a field of spiritual advancement where we walk within our own power. Now we are again coming gradually into the steps of blending the magic in the mundane and carrying our power in every step that we take in our human form. We need to go back to the times when we stopped in our power because we are walking those footsteps again. Feel the fear of these cellular memories as the days of Atlantis return. Feel the fear and have the courage to do it differently this time. Know that you have choices. Be responsible and see the whole picture, and you will move into the full power of the 555. See that everyone is playing important parts, for the ladder of human advancement will not advance until all rungs of the ladder are filled. One of the most destructive ways that this misdirection often plays out among light workers is something that the keepers call spiritual competition. To illustrate this point of view, after hearing this information, many may now believe that seeing the numbers 555 means that you are more advanced than those seeing 1111. Your biology needs different signals and triggers at various times. They do not come in any order of importance, so please, we cannot attempt to apply human attributes to the other side of the veil. We must understand that the need to place one thing above another degrades all things. It is your hesitation to fully walk within your own power that is the cause of misdirection. When you center your own energy and dare to walk fully in your own power, then there is no need to place one above another. Making life choices without judgment is what is called discernment. This is the first tool of the higher vibrations to which we are acclimating to. We are far beyond what we ever imagined, for we were there at the beginning. Dare to embrace your passion. Find one small success and build on it. Find one thing that you love about yourself and build on it, and you will do well. 555 is a vision of you returning once again. And as you see the triple fives, remember Lemuria, remember who you were, and even if you have difficulty, hold the vibration of all knowingness. These numeric symbols are signaling the magical time of our past that is now coming back. Make space for it in your lives. Make space for empowered humans to walk right next to you. Make space for yourself to become empowered, for that is what you are doing. 3 5s are magical numbers and they will enter your field quite often now. Lemuria is coming to Earth again, and the 555 signals your biology to become prepared. We are creating it. There is so much more that we will understand about the numbers as they start coming forward. You are now firmly in the fourth dimension. It is the fact that you are peering into the fifth dimension that even brings the 555 triggers into your field. The fifth dimension does not have the safeguard of a time lag. Therefore, we must be masters of our thoughts before safely stepping into the fifth dimension. Now is the time of self mastery. Start with your thoughts and your beliefs. If you are asking, what is happening? I feel lost. I feel separated from my guides right now. You are becoming one with the whole. And as you begin to incorporate the fifth dimension, this is where the magic begins. First, we must shed ourselves of the bonds that hold us firmly in the third dimension. Do not look for things to release. Simply be ready to release what your heart tells you. Be ready to release that which is holding you as you grasp the truth of Lemuria. Watch the numbers, and when you see them, whisper those magic words. Thank you. Remember to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another as you would yourself, and play well together. If you resonate with this information, please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. I would love to hear from you. I have a monthly group coaching program called Unlock Your Superpowers, where I give a monthly presentation and I also offer a free 30-minute consultation a month. Next month, we're going to be delving into the meaning of addresses and phone numbers, along with other important esoteric numerology. So join us and receive many of the bonuses, including a free reading, ebooks, and meditations. You can learn more off my website at www.egyptiannumerology.org. Blessings to you all and namaste.